You're in.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. 2025 Off the Radio Show series.
Amazing.
Right?
Yeah.
This is our 10th season. This is our 994th show.
God,
up at 1,000.
I hate you. Just
I
kidding.
know, I drag you down here every Tuesday night.
900 of these things.
Tonight's special show.
I agree.
We say that of all the shows. They're all special because people come on are pretty cool.
No, tonight's a great show, Neil.
Mr. Alo Slebir.
How we doing?
You just showed that big ass wave of Mavericks.
Don't
waiting
give him more credit than one wave, Neil.
How many waves? Oh, the day before you were at Maui, right? Maui?
A lot of waves ridden that entire week.
He's a lot of waves.
His ears are full of water right now.
You wait to say something. He's looking, he's chomping in the middle.
No, I'm just trying to stretch out my back.
Bullshit. The one and only, the legend, the icon of Santa Cruz. Stretches in the house back for show number 4.
And what a big year for Stretch. By the way, congratulations on the election.
Thank you.
Yes.
Well, you should be congratulating over half of the United States. Honey.
Was it actually over half of the United States?
He won the popular. So yeah, that's over half. Not California, understood, but
Congratulations. And welcome back to the show.
thank you.
Yeah. And thanks for driving your sporty car too.
But he bought that car out there while Biden was president. He didn't wait.
No, I didn't.
What? You didn't?
No.
How long you had that car for?
4 years.
Really? Who was president when you bought that car? Obama?
Trump.
Trump. We want to give a word out to Mr. Josh Lawyer, who's going to try and come down tonight to have a Trump bash off, but he's dealing with a salty truck.
Well, you know, those Dodges. Loy, I hope you get it fixed. That thing is a beautiful truck. If it could only talk. Neil, you have notes tonight.
I never have notes. We never do notes.
You never do notes.
Don't do notes.
Can I ask you why you did notes tonight?
Because a couple of the guys called me. Mr. Grant Washburn gave me a call. Goes, here's what you need to ask him.
Oh, so you went to some of the heavy hitters.
Grant goes, just tell him he's a great kid.
That's all he said?
That's all he said. No, he's a great kid, and here's some questions.
Okay.
Mark Sponsler, the famed weather forecaster of Mavericks, that I just wrote an article about in Lookout Magazine.
He's been on the show.
He's been on the show? What's funny? Don't be stealing shit. He's shoplifting, TC. He's shoplifting.
There's some nice stuff in there. Some nice stuff.
Some weights.
You can fill your pockets, Stretch.
Need some berries for the new weights and the new tubwood.
Neil, I'm really curious about your notes. Can you just dig in there and grab a gem for me?
A gem?
Yeah, a gem of your notes.
Question?
Yeah.
Mr. Grant Washburn would like to know, what's it like surfing waves bigger than you ever dreamed of?
It's the best thing that could ever happen to a kid that's been dreaming of it since he was 8. But until the next one, honestly.
The crew that was out there, how wide-eyed were they seeing those waves that came through?
Everybody was wide-eyed. I mean,
Just everybody.
Everybody.
The damn seagulls are wide-eyed.
yeah, fuck, everybody.
And when you mean wide-eyed, I mean, probably your biggest day, I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
Your biggest day you've seen at Mavs.
Yes, sir.
Emotionally, in those situations, because I saw a quote that you said that you saw this wave, and Luke is like, grab the rope.
Yeah.
But I mean,
he commanded. He
yelled
was
at you and said, "You're doing
going."
this.
Like there was no stopping it. You know.
He saw it coming?
Yeah, we saw it coming.
Yeah.
I mean, it looked like a wall from this spot called Moss Beach to Half Moon Bay. It was looked like a closeout, and that's the first thing I thought was like, shit, maybe Mavericks does close out. But
when you let go of the rope, and it was go time, were you like, oh shit, or were you like, let's go?
No, let's do this.
Let's go.
It was the motto the whole day.
Yeah.
And in fact, Luca's dad said it, make it count. So every wave we looked at, we tried to make it count.
I've watched that wave, I told you earlier, like 20 times. and it almost looks like at one point you're going backwards. Like it's like there is so much water.
Well, thank this guy.
Yeah.
'Cause
Well, he made the magic slipper for you, right?
Maybe I would have been going backwards.
Yeah.
Is that what you do now? You making boards that go backwards?
No. Forward. Only forward.
Bill, how many times have you stretched?
I make boards that go backwards for you.
Stretch.
But for him,
Touche. You got touche. I've got.
We get to go forward.
By the way,
I make sure
hang
that
on.
he
By the way,
stays alive.
we do the jokes. Okay? All right.
Yeah, but if you're going to do the jokes, you got to be funny.
We do the jokes.
Stretch, how many times did you watch that wave?
I watched that wave probably twice, but I watched the feed from the whole day. It wasn't the one wave. Like, who cares?
Right.
Like, who cares? Yeah, that was a big wave.
Was there more
The
like
whole day. What nobody's talking about was 8 o'clock in the morning until 5 o'clock at night. Every wave that came through, they were on. Half of the time, they were what they call on the rope. So, like, do you understand the stamina, the perfection that's required to be on the rope in those conditions for an hour? They were on it for 8 hours. On the rope
what's on the rope?
on the rope.
Yeah.
Getting pulled around.
Pulled around.
Okay.
No,
All right.
you
You're just getting
fall
drug right.
off the wave. Guy comes to pick you up. You don't go to the sled. You go to the rope.
Yeah.
So the day you're on the rope, I'm not sitting on the sled. I'm not sitting on the ski. I'm on the rope. Back out. Like, I'm watching live feed. Luca's on a wave. Okay, rides that. Okay. This is a live feed. 60 seconds later, Luca's on another wave. Again. For the whole time. And then Luca's off and Alo's doing the same thing. Just over and over like that.
Dog with a bone.
That day, Alo, how many waves did you catch that day, you think? All told. I mean, you were out there all day. And I mean,
We blacked out, I'm not going to lie, for probably half the day, but I would have to say 30, maybe
30.
more. Luca probably caught 40, maybe more. I don't know. Like, it was, like Stretch was saying, it was nonstop. We would kick out into the channel, you swing the rope around the guy, you grab the rope, and you go straight back out. And by the time you're going back out, there's another wave.
and what a sort of a rare anomaly, too, of having a smooth day all day.
It was not smooth.
Oh,
it looked
well,
smooth,
It looks smooth.
but it was
Chop.
choppy, rugged.
Well, I saw, you were catching air
Yeah.
going down the faces.
Yeah.
I mean, and this board's not light.
No.
And a lot of guys were catching air going down the faces. Was there a time during the day that was the best?
And what time was that wave you caught?
People are saying 1 o'clock. Some
Yeah.
people are saying 3 o'clock. I don't know.
You don't know? Yeah.
I don't remember.
Sponza was asking me.
Yeah, I think it was probably around there. It had to have been between 1 or 3 o'clock because the swell really jumped at 11. But the boards felt great, and there were a couple moments where it cleaned up to being perfect. And then 10 minutes later, it'd be 9 knots, 10, 12 knots south wind.
Can we ask you what's the difference for people watching? What's the difference between a tow board and a regular board? This is a tow board right here, right?
Yeah.
What's the difference between the tow board and a regular surfboard? Can you answer that?
It looks different.
Yeah.
It's easier to explain the similarities.
Okay.
The tow board
Yeah.
and the regular surfboard, they both have fins.
That's it.
What are you jumping up and down for?
That's it.
That's it.
Well,
So then
There is no.
There's
So,
no-
so the foam that's in this board
Yes.
is not in any other surfboard. The construction of this board
Yes.
is completely different than any other surfboard.
Okay.
The rocker's different. The template's different. This is only 1.25 inches thick. That's 2 pounds of number 5 lead shot in the tail.
Right here?
Yeah.
And it's noticeable. This board is noticeably heavy in the tail when you hold it.
Yeah. Reducing swing weight. When you put the weight in the back, the front feels light. So that when he's going over the chop, the nose isn't doing this. There's what's called a pitching moment. So there's no pitching moment, or you limit the pitching moment.
When I look at this, it sort of reminds me of the first Scurfer. You know the Scurfer, the plastic thing that we in the like.
Don't
late-
disrespect my.
No, I'm not disrespecting it. But what I'm saying is that it sort of reminds me of that shape.
Stick to skateboards.
When you say the foam's different, stretch.
Trying to get it. I know.
I'm comparing your boards to a Scurfer.
To a plastic molded.
What was that guy's name? Tony something made those, right?
Tony Lagos.
Yes, Tony. He was San Diego guy, I think. What's the foam? It's your dense foam, obviously,
PVC.
right? Oh, it's PVC. Got it. Okay. And these, do you make these inserts for the straps?
Okay.
Stretch. What's going on here? Do you make these?
No, that comes from windsurfers.
Oh, okay. And what straps are you using?
The kind strap.
So it's a sailboard strap as well?
Windsurf straps.
Gotcha. I don't tow surf.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know anything about this. I do notice you have some concave up here in the nose.
Who got you into towing, Mavs?
So, aerodynamics. This is like
Right on.
race car
Oh, Ryan did?
technology.
Yes. We've got 2 questions going at the same time.
Because the tow board is moving at, well, on that date, that's 40 miles an hour.
I was
Because
curious
the
about
ski's
that.
having a problem keeping up with the wave. So minimum 40 miles an hour. Then you go into an offshore wind that's blowing 25, 65 mile an hour a headwind. Your board becomes aerodynamic now. And even that small a board in 65 miles an hour wind, if you're just standing on a cliff and trying to hold on to it, it becomes difficult. So you have to start thinking not only hydrodynamically, but aerodynamically.
And you've been riding stretch boards
Ever.
for
Forever.
Yeah.
I remember being in the shop when I was this tall, drawing all over my dad's boards and him getting
Did
pissed.
he make you sweep the floor?
No,
Okay.
No.
What?
no child labor.
Has he ever made you cry?
Stretch? I don't think so. I was kind of a soft
Made me
kid
cry,
though, so
made me-
maybe.
He's made us cry on several occasions.
He can be a little rough sometimes.
I'm used to it. My mom's Italian.
Oh, that's true. You are. And
I'm only mean to liberals.
well, you're consistent.
Shall
Then.
we switch to politics or should we stick with surfing?
Oh, I have a couple more questions for Alo, real quick. When you caught that wave, I mean, it's been measured 108 feet. Did you immediately know that this beast was like the biggest thing that you've been on?
I knew it was going to be the biggest wave of my life, but yeah, and regardless of it, I'm just happy that I got to ride it. You know, anybody could have been on the rope. Luca could have been on the rope. Pete Mel could have been on the rope.
Right.
Ryan Augustine. So just being able to ride a wave of that magnitude, you'll never forget it. And whatever they want to measure it to, let them do that.
Well, the photo that's been circulated around the world is pretty spectacular. I mean, you have to look at it yourself and be like, shit, it is a massive beast of a wave.
Yeah.
And it is an incredibly hollow, round beast. Like, I am blown away by it. And I couldn't imagine what your vision was of that.
I thought all the waves were photoshopped that day. I actually had to double check with some people because I was like, did you guys photoshop this? Are you kind of fucking with me? But it was, yeah, I mean, every wave that day was giant. You saw some of Luca's pictures. You were just like, that's the biggest wave I've ever ridden at Mavericks. Well, that's the biggest wave I've ever ridden at Mavericks. There's
Right.
All of them.
And there were so many good waves that day. I get it. You rode 30, but when Luca came and got you back on the rope, and you guys had a chance to actually talk about it, was he like, "Holy shit, Alo, that thing was huge"?
No, we didn't have a chance. We just went right back out.
Yeah, because there was it was set after set that day,
Yeah.
right?
We literally didn't talk about it. We were just like, all right, you're up.
Did you see anyone get completely annihilated?
Luca got completely annihilated a couple times, and he got to feel the sheer force of that swell for sure. Maybe on the forehead once or twice, but everyone came out fairly unscathed, which is pretty rare for a day like that.
And you had just, I was it the day before you were in Maui?
Yes, day before.
Riding
Yeah.
Jaws,
Yep.
same swell,
Yep.
and
Same
it was
exact
it was
swell.
pumping.
It was pumping. I didn't get to stay for the big one,
Right.
but we had 3-4 days right along with it.
And
it
so
was
you obviously jumped on a plane, flew home immediately with your boards,
Yep.
and cracked it. Oh, his boards were here? No?
Toe boards were here. The board, well, he came home with the tail.
I came home with the tail of the board.
Oh, sponsor love that,
Yeah.
huh?
Well, pay to play. You know? Pay to
Do
play.
you hate that stretch when one comes home in two pieces?
Yes and no. I mean, it's inevitable, and it's cool to see it put to the test. And guns and toe boards, they're meant to go to places that are not safe.
You're like sort of the man when it comes to some of these boards designed for big waves. Have you seen an uptick since in the last few? I mean, I know you're busy as all can be, but are there people that normally don't order boards from you ordering boards from you?
Yes, us.
I'm expensive. Those guys, yeah. It's tough keeping up with he and Luca, but there's a lot of people making toe boards and guns and copies.
Right.
He's under the radar. He tries to be under the radar.
Well, I mean, I see. I mean, I've seen Job riding some boards that you have shaped. You know, I mean, I'm seeing guys
I
that
made boards for pretty much everybody.
yeah. I mean, it's so obviously the business must be good.
Excuse
I
me.
have no complaints.
Excuse me. What's out there on the street? That's it. Your business is
I'll
pretty
post
good.
that on Instagram tomorrow, you guys. You'll see. You'll see
Business is
Stretch's hot rod. and you know what?
You have hot rods and you have a house.
I do. But I will say congratulations, because you and I worked together at International Waters when we were very young, and you have been doing this for a long time, and you deserve the success, and I congratulate you for that. So the fact that you have a beautiful car out front, you've earned it because you've been doing this a long time. So congratulations. Yeah.
Hey, look, what safety gear do you have out there? Do you have food and water? You ready to spend the whole day out there? Or
We
it's
had
just-
food and water.
Yeah.
We didn't utilize it very
Okay.
much. We didn't have much time.
You're just nonstop from 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock?
Paid the price.
Yeah, we
Paid
paid
the
the price. We definitely got cramped up at the end of the day.
You did, yeah.
Yeah, I remember riding a wave that was pretty big, and the hamstring just locked up. And I was
Yeah.
like, all right, maybe it's time to roll.
Yeah.
But we normally bring out bars and water and everything, and we have, safety stuff from Turner kits to everything on our jet skis.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
luckily, we didn't have to bring that out that day.
yeah.
You were
If-
wearing an inflatable vest?
Yep, we were still wearing inflatable vests.
Yep.
As badass as you want to be, if you have that in your garage and you don't wear it, that's on you.
Does that give you more confidence wearing a vest?
Yes and no, because it might not work. There's plenty of times where you've pulled that thing and it doesn't work, and then plenty of times where you've pulled it and it doesn't do anything.
Right.
So, and if you're knocked unconscious, you're not
Not
pulling
pulling
any
it.
tabs.
I feel like if you pull it, and getting caught inside must be just not fun with that on, right? Because
It
keeps you-
deflates pretty fast.
Oh, it does?
Yeah,
Okay.
It has a deflate. So you can pull it, it'll inflate immediately, and then you can deflate it in about 1 or 2 seconds.
You're really making a name for yourself in big wave surfing, and that's awesome to see. Would you take a Eddie invite next year?
I mean, who wouldn't? But
Right.
at the same time, Mavericks is our home, so it's like we really got to figure out that wave as best of our ability and surf it as much as we can. If there an Eddie invite comes, that would be, a dream come true. But I know I'd be racing home to surf Mavericks.
Right. Well, if the Eddy's going on, did you watch the Eddy?
I did watch the Eddy. We had a friend, JoJo Roper, in it.
Oh yeah,
She actually
JoJo was
built a board for him.
Yeah. Oh,
JoJo, if you're watching, you got to pay for that.
was JoJo riding a stretch in the Eddy? Okay.
He's on rest.
Oh, he was. Okay. Well, I was proud to see Landon win.
Yeah.
You know, he got a bomb. That late drop was awesome, and it's great to see him turn around.
That wasn't a freak wave. Those waves were like that all day long.
Right? Mavericks?
Yeah.
I mean, that was a freak wave because it was maybe one of the tallest ones,
Yeah.
but there was
Was it?
waves just at that magnitude all day.
The sponsor said 57 feet was the average wave that day.
57?
Yeah.
Sure. I like it. I got to see it.
So that's what he was calling was 57 feet.
Yeah.
Interesting. And if in fact you get a Guinness Book of World Record, that is what's more important, that or getting the biggest wave money at the end of the year?
He's got a stretch hat. What else does he need?
Because there
The answer to both of
potentially.
those, I'm just going to go order more boards.
Well, that's great. He needs tires for that sports car. But my point being is, I think it's a $25,000-$50,000 biggest wave.
I have no idea what it is, and
but-
I've been not looking into it too bad.
Have you thought about it at all?
Now you're going up against Sancho
Apparently, yeah.
on the stretch.
On a stretch.
But
Come on, who are we going to delegate
He
for?
rides for me.
what is the pay for that? Do we know?
I have no idea.
Do you know? No. Okay. If anyone knows who's watching what that is, I know it's like Dollar got a bunch of money when he got that award, and so I think he got like 50 grand for the biggest wave of the year. That's a lot of boards.
Skinny got 10
Yeah, and
on the stretch snowboard.
Stretch. How long does it take if someone orders a board right now? Is it 6 weeks, 8 weeks,
Probably up at about 10 right now.
10 weeks? And you're 100% still shaped and built right here in Santa Cruz.
One of those days, sweating his
Yeah.
ass off.
Yeah.
Huh. Complaining, bitching, twisting the thing.
Trying to stretch my hand out.
Yeah.
The one that works.
Is it harder? I mean, we're no spring chickens
Well,
anymore.
he was drilling these holes right
I'm
here.
going to do it all with one hand because this one doesn't do shit.
Thus, the 10 weeks.
I use my left hand.
Yeah. Well, most people know that you had a windsurfing accident in the late 80s.
I'm a quadriplegic.
Well, and luckily you survived because that was a near-death experience. But you've been healthy, you know.
It's not exactly true.
He has to park that.
Well, weren't you unconscious during that event?
Oh, 20 minutes face down in the water.
yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much a near-death experience.
I think that's death.
We are still here.
Well, but how many people do you know that have been unconscious, face down, not breathing for 20 minutes?
No, what's your limit?
No,
Four?
sir.
What's your limit? 4?
Yeah.
Death.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a death experience.
Who found you?
Nothing like
somebody
that.
somebody sailed by and found you that day.
Larry D.
Larry Deeney from B&D Sports.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, Larry Deeney.
I like your memory.
Yeah, I do have this. I smoked a lot of weed too growing up. It's impressive. Wow, Larry Deeney. Okay, I knew somebody had sailed by that day.
Yeah, Larry found me.
Wow, is Larry still around?
I haven't talked to him in years.
Huh. Okay. Well, thank goodness.
He has PTSD from the day, and every time I talk to him, I feel like I'm inflicting pain, and so I kind of backed away. 'Cause he was like, "Hi."
From that day?
Yeah, because he swims over to me,
Yeah.
and I bob up blue like
Right,
that
right.
color,
Yeah.
and like, oh.
Yeah.
And then he has to deal with everybody else swimming away. Nobody wants to help him. Finally gets guys to help him. He and a park ranger, they lose me 3 times. Get me to the beach. Nobody will do CPR because they think I have AIDS. Yeah, so he was
Really?
pretty traumatized by it.
You know what? Some people probably
Didn't
don't
really bother
know.
me any, but
What a lot of people don't know about Stretch is Stretch was a great surfer. I give you credit for your surfing ability. Yeah. I mean, you're a tall, lanky dude, and you could throw a board around. Yeah. And so that is.
I had some good times.
You did.
I
Yeah.
had some good times.
And
Harbor, Rivermouth,
yeah,
Moss.
the hook. You used to surf the hook.
Yeah, hook is a terrible way.
I know, but we were all riding little round-shaped surfboards, having a good time back then.
Yeah, it was fun. I
Yeah.
had good times at Pleasure Point, mostly just getting in trouble with all the locals. Because I wasn't a local at the time.
Speaking of locals, what locals inspired you?
Steamer Lane, West Side.
Okay.
I had to bring my passport to even get over here. It's hard enough going to the factory.
That was beyond the VC days, right?
VC was slightly around when I was there,
Okay.
but we still had, from Flea to I feel like we kind of got the very, very last end of the
End of that era.
yeah,
Yeah.
just young enough to kind of escape the drugs, but
Yeah.
just old enough to still see it.
Right. Yeah.
Who took you up the Mavs the first time?
Pat Shaughnessy, Savannah
really?
Shaughnessy's
Huh. Okay.
brother. Yeah, great guy.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, great guy and an amazing surfer. Speaking of someone who's tall, I think he was 6'6" at his tallest.
Yeah, he's big. Yeah, tall guy.
Yeah,
I was.
But that was
Not anymore.
you were just surfing it, right? With him.
yeah. I was just surfing with him, and then
Wasn't towing.
no, never towed until
You
later.
mentioned earlier, TC, about towing. Towing was off, and now it's back on again. And what's the legality of being out there with a jet ski?
The legality is that we're allowed to have water safety
Okay.
from a certain period of time, right, out at Mavericks, just because they kind of decided to turn a blind eye to that, because
Yeah.
if someone does drown and we didn't have the ability to have jet skis, then it's on NOAA.
Yeah.
So they allow us to tow. You can tow, but there is a certain amount of time that you have to put in at Mavericks before you should tow. I mean, I didn't tow for 6-7 years. And you really got to learn the wave before you even get on one of these boards.
Who comes up, pats you on the shoulder, and go, okay, you're now ready.
Nobody. You'll figure it out pretty quick.
Okay, all right.
If you are welcome or not welcome.
Yeah.
Is that? I mean, so that's kind of how it works. There's not like a tow cop out there.
Maybe Luca.
Your tow partner.
Yeah, my
So
tow
that's
partner.
okay. So you get you're like a
No.
deputy.
It's just like a.
There's regulators out again at Mount.
How does a partnership? Because you with Augie for a long time, right? And you went with Luca. How does that work? What do guys switch?
It's like getting a hard divorce.
It's gonna.
for
Oh, is it really that?
Yeah,
Really?
it's people. You build that relationship with somebody, and
Yeah.
you know how they drive. It was just a dream of ours, Luca and I. I mean, we've known each other since middle school,
Yeah.
and we weren't that close.
Just go to Augie and go, Augie, where I'm out of here. We've got
No, I try to do it a little more
a little more.
subtle.
Yeah.
But he understood. Like,
Yeah.
he was just like, I mean, you guys are both 23 years old now,
Yeah.
and at the time we were probably 20. So
Okay. Remember when Luca came on the show, TC?
Yeah.
15,
Oh, yeah.
He was just a little kid, right?
He wasn't little. He was a big.
little?
He was a big 15-year-old.
He was a big 15, I remember. And now he's like, I saw a picture of him the other day. Holy shit!
No, he's a beast now.
Beast.
And good skateboarder too. Is he still skating a lot?
no, we both don't skate.
Okay, because he was really into skating during that time too.
No, we'll
Yeah, if you
test
guys-
our luck
if
with.
you guys start skating, you're off the team.
You're not allowed in the boardroom. It's your first go.
I'm not,
Fair enough.
I'm not
TC,
doing
you just
that.
lost the customer.
Fair
Lost the
enough.
customer,
I
TC.
broke my ankle skateboarding. Oh.
Oh yeah, I have free crutches in the back. I collect crutches.
Yeah,
Yeah, I do. Yeah, and we constantly have a crutch brigade. And so tomorrow, I mean, we're in between swells right now. What's your daily regimen? I mean, you're taking this seriously as an athlete. Is there a training tomorrow you're going to be dealing with?
We try and take the winters off, and I'm still trying to recover from that month of swell.
Right.
I think my body's not extremely happy, but the best training for surfing is surfing. So we surf every day, and in the off season, then that's when you train hard.
Because you were at Jaws the day before, had a good session, got waves,
Yep.
took a couple on the head, it sounded like.
Got one wave. Yeah.
So you caught one.
I caught one wave.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that must have been immensely a little draining on that day, huh?
For sure. I mean, that warm water is pretty nice, though. I will tell you that. It's a little easier on the body.
Yeah.
Mavericks, with that cold water and the way that it breaks, I mean, I haven't been to Jaws very much, and I'm sure it'll screw you up just as much as Mavericks will. But when you fall on a wave of Mavericks, your body definitely goes a lot more rigid.
Right.
Let's say that.
And you're wearing a full suit as well.
Full suit.
Yeah.
Everything.
Which floats really well.
Yeah, which is a blessing and a curse, right?
Did you finish that session at Jaws? You got on an airplane that night and flew home?
Yep.
And then woke up, cracked it in the morning?
No, so I gave myself a whole day
Okay.
to recover.
So there was a full day between
Yeah,
that.
I got in, I took the red eye, got in at 6 a.m. on the 22nd.
You knew the surface. You knew that storm was coming.
Yeah, I mean, we flew through the storm
Yeah.
on the way here, and I was all excited because I got to get upgraded to business class. And I was
Nice.
like, oh, I'm going to sleep. This is going to be so nice.
Just bouncing along.
We got on the plane, there was like 10 people on the flight, and I was like, this is a little weird.
Yeah.
And I knew right away, like 5 minutes into the flight, I was like, I'm not going to sleep a wink. It was like turbulent the entire time.
Right.
So, but I got to sleep in a bed that night before the swell, so I can't complain.
And you brought home one broken board?
One broken board. I just had to keep it. The other piece is...
So all you brought
names.
home was the tail?
Yeah.
The other one is on the Big Island
It's
right
not-
now?
Well, I had to bring it back and show. I was like, hey, still
You
here.
demand a piece back, so that's how you know he didn't sell it.
I saw the way.
See, should we let the Hawaii know that he's coming to Hawaii tomorrow? Look out.
Insane. Stretch, we see you got the stars and stripes on here.
Oh, here we go.
So let's just get your take on what's going on in the country and what your hopes are for the next 4 years.
We'll see. Monday's a big day. We'll see if we. Yeah, I'm not real confident that there's going to be a transition. Let's just say. Bit conspiratorial, but it's
So it's not official yet? That's what you're saying?
You're gonna be on the beach, relaxing, chilling with the
A drink with an umbrella in it?
umbrella. What are you worried about? Here we go.
I'd like to see the country move back towards the republic that it was originally designed as.
Yeah, we talked about that before,
Ah,
and it hasn't gotten there.
Democrats,
Mm-hmm.
Republican.
Yep.
Democrats want a democracy. What do Republicans want?
What? I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the shoe to drop.
A republic.
Okay.
There's a difference. Remember when I had the
You had that big poster board. Yeah,
the
we still have
poster
that.
boards,
It's
yeah.
somewhere. It's somewhere around.
Yeah.
I think it's in the surfing museum.
Yeah. There's a difference. I'd like to see it revert back
Back to
towards
republic?
a republic
All right.
from a democracy, which we barely even have a democracy now. This is pretty much totalitarianism. So I'd like to see it go back towards a republic.
I think you should give. You know what? Here's my thought. You ready? Just give it back to my guys, the English.
Oh, and that would be great because
No.
England is doing so well right now.
We are. We're down the pub. We're fine.
Your country's in the toilet.
It's in the shit. Yeah, you're right. I know.
So we should give it back to you?
Well, I mean, let's take this. Give it back. Let's take a second go at it, second run at it. See what happens.
I don't want any Brexit money.
You guys spooched it. Okay?
Is that a word? We spooched it.
Pooched it.
Oh, pooched it.
Yeah.
Is that a word?
You're English, you should know.
No, I don't think it's a word.
Short for screwing the pooch. Yeah, you guys pooched it. and we are in the
I
process
can't,
of
what
pooching
can you
it.
say, TC?
Well-
what can you possibly? There's no comeback for Pooch.
I agree with Stretch.
Hold it.
What happened to you the last time we spoke? You come around?
I agree with Stretch. Hey, you know what? Change is good.
You know what?
Everybody
If
grows
Lawyer,
up.
if Lawyer was here, he'd be on my side.
No way.
You want to die?
I bet he's listening. He would.
He is so much more
God.
conservative than I am.
Yeah, that's saying something.
He is very conservative, and I do enjoy how he expresses himself on social media. 'Cause it's really fun.
Because he's Mr. Happy.
Yeah. It's great. Yeah.
Is that all the notes?
Yeah, I'll throw him away. Just got. Once the Pooch starts, you
All
start
that
talking
writing?
Pooch. Yeah.
Alo, when you're not surfing, somebody said you have some construction experience. What do you do when you're not?
He's an attorney.
No, not an attorney. No.
But just outside of surfing, what do you got going on?
I am slamming concrete, but other than that, I was also repping for a few surf brands. So I was kind of juggling both doing that, but I was working with my good buddy Russ Smith.
Oh, Russ Smith,
Yeah.
of course.
So that's been fun, and we went through a summer of hell, which we call it, and I'm excited to do it again.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that's a trade that you can always do. You know, once you learn that, that's a good trade.
Oh, dear.
Thanks, honey.
Boyfriend.
No.
And having the surfing boss.
Yeah,
People
surfing
need-
boss
That's
is
a
great.
huge plus.
It's
right
a
there.
huge plus.
No, gigantic.
Yeah, and
You
he
know,
gets it. He's like, all right, you're going somewhere? I'm like,
Yeah.
yep. Even though this summer I didn't travel much and just had to stack the pennies, but that's all right. I like it.
He gets it as much as anybody. And what an awesome surfer Russ is and was, growing up.
Still is.
Killing
Incredible
it. Yeah,
surfer.
killing it. And
How many
so-
requests did you get for articles or interviews after you completed that day? Probably.
Well, I thought I had to change my phone number at
Did
one
you?
point
Yeah.
because I had 1,800 missed text messages.
Did you just say 1,800 missed
1,800.
text messages?
So
You give away your phone number a lot.
I did not give away my phone number once. Like I said,
Stretch.
I just wrote away.
Stretch is like, here's his number.
I would never.
And of those 1,800s, was there any that like really caught you off guard?
Number.
Was it like
A couple. for
Anderson
sure.
Cooper called you up or
No,
something?
No. I got thrown off guard by seeing 1,800 as a notification. That's about it.
Right.
A lot of it was positive. Mm-hmm. Some of it negative. But that's all right.
And why would somebody be negative?
Nazare has became a thing where it's a lot of the surfers are chasing that 100-foot wave. And I never stated that it was 100 feet. Mm-hmm. And I don't think it's 100 feet, but I don't know what the measurement is.
Right.
I'll let other people decide that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They took it as me saying that it's the first 100-foot wave, and so I got a ton of people hitting me up saying, this wasn't a 100-foot wave, like, blah, 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 like, kind of losing it, and at first I was a little thrown off, and then I just realized, I'm like, they just don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like that.
Well,
Don't worry
and
about
also a lot of times it's jealousy. That you know what I mean? It's like everybody wants to ride the 100-foot wave. You just caught a wave that kept growing as you were riding it.
Like
you
I
know,
always
it's
say,
like
I just rode a wave.
yeah, you just rode a wave. And I've watched a couple of your interviews, and you've been consistent with that sort of mantra of just saying, I'm just a surfer.
Yeah.
I caught a big wave, and if it's a big wave, it's a big wave. And I'm stoked I was the one who rode it.
Yep.
And that's a great attitude and the way to handle it.
Yeah.
So
You-
that's
you-
good.
That was well done. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I hope you get the $50,000 check for it.
Hey,
That would buy some more stretches.
it would.
You know what? You should order them now.
Before the new
That's already
president.
done. We already did that. We ordered more boards already.
Stretch as a customer, Alo, a good customer. Do you enjoy working with him in design?
Oh, that week we did more in that week than I've done in the past 4 or 5 years
Really?
in 1 week.
And not just with Alo, but with like,
Well, mostly
Luca.
Al and Luca.
okay, yeah.
Just the ability to watch their performance for the day, all the 30 of his and 30 of Luca's, and then call him on the phone the next morning and, hey, I saw this. What'd you feel? I saw this. What'd you feel? Did you see Pete? Did you see Augie? What'd you think about this? The next day, fresh in my mind. Everything.
And are we looking at what is this right here? What
Yeah,
this is what all that
That's
came.
the next generation.
So this is what we're looking at right here is what you learned that day and put on
Yeah.
the planer, and here we are. Do you plane this board? How do you cut this?
Those are every toe board I've ever made has been handshaped.
Okay,
No machine.
no machine at all. Okay.
No machine. It's impossible to cut that on the CNC machine.
And what's I know there's 2 pounds of buckshot in this, but what's this weigh?
That one's 12.
12 pounds.
Right? What you see in front of you is 12 at this time.
Mm-hmm.
It will get heavier.
And how long is this?
This is a 510.
A 510. And relatively narrow. I mean, is it
16 and
16?
a quarter.
16 and a quarter. And you said an inch and
A quarter.
a quarter. It's so thin. Wow. And you glassed it. I mean, we're not worried about weight of glass, so this is obviously a very strong board as well. Is it
They're unbreakable.
unbreakable?
But there's only 1/6 on the top and 1/6 on the bottom.
It's because the foam is so dense. Is that why?
No.
There's something magic to make it that
Well,
strong.
the foam is dense, but it's the internals of it. It's not just a foam core.
Mm-hmm.
It's a leaf spring. An internal leaf spring.
Because I don't necessarily see a stringer in this.
There's no stringer.
Yeah, no stringer. Okay. What a
I
trip.
can't tell you all everything.
I'm just trying to pry a few little nuggets out of you. Just a couple of nuggets. Are you excited to ride this new board?
100%. I wish I could ride it tomorrow, but the waves aren't going to be big enough,
Right.
unfortunately.
So now you have like a bigger Jones to go surf, just to be able to test out this new board, right?
100%. Yeah.
And are you seeing this for the first time right now?
I saw it for the first time this morning.
Wow, how exciting! That's really cool. And what's different between this and the board you were riding last week or 2 weeks ago? What was that? Last 2 weeks ago?
Very subtle changes.
You're fine tuning. And that's the classic surfer shaper relationship.
No,
You know?
nothing's told, nothing's said.
Well, it's just stuff that is why surfers have shapers, is that you do that refinement over time. And I wish Loya was here, because Loya was a prolific team rider for Stretch. And I always say one of my favorite surfers.
He's my longest running team rider.
I always give him huge props for his surfing ability. Loya was one of my favorite surfers ever to come out of this town, and his ability was his off the lip was passable, and snapped it harder than anybody. And every time I see him, I give him so much credit because he's such a fantastic surfer,
Yeah.
and always was on a stretch. And as I look back in history, I remember guys like Roger Maris and some,
Augie.
like some really. I mean, you've been doing this for a long time and have had so many like colorful personalities riding
Yeah.
your boards.
Yeah.
You still love what you do, Stretch?
Still wake up every morning excited to go into the room
Yeah,
every day.
that's cool. Well, I'm proud you're still doing it. You know, I remember when we worked in international waters.
God.
And it was the most craziest time. Cruteau was out of control. I remember he used a couple times. I was scared for my life a couple of times there with Cruteau.
I remember duct taping him and throwing him into a closet.
Oh my God, he was so out of control.
See,
He would drink.
she's going.
He would dress up.
I like it.
He would dress up. Remember, he would dress up in full German regalia, head to toe Nazi uniform. He'd put on German marching music, and he would march around the factory in this German war outfit, like an SS guy, marching in his black boots. It was insane. So, fun times back there, Stretch. Any people you want to thank besides Stretch?
Mom and Dad
Yeah.
and Luca.
Awesome. Yeah. And your mom and dad live here in town?
My dad's born and raised here, and my mom's from Italy, and they
Yeah.
both still live here.
And but some people might not know this, but you speak fluent Italian?
Fluent Italian. I like to keep that kind of secret.
Just the ladies know that?
It's hard for a ginger out here.
Neil, any final words tonight?
You said it, TC. We've got a lot of good shows coming up.
Yeah. No, it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's good to get the new year going.
Yeah.
We're going to be working on our 1,000th show.
Yeah, we got to figure something out.
Yeah, we're going to do something special for that. Stretch,
God bless you.
you're a legend. Thank you for being here tonight. Alo, congrats.
Thank you.
The 108-footer, maybe it's 109. We'll find
A
out.
fun wave.
Yeah,
wave.
and I hope that you get more and have a great career riding big waves.
Thank you.
You got the right
Boyfriend, the right
tools.
boyfriend you got here.
Yeah.
Rolled in.
And we will see you guys soon. Thank you for being here, Stretch. Always great to see you. Thank you so much. Neil,
I'm gonna get
See
my
you next week,
girlfriend.
buddy.
great show.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Another great show on the Off the Lip radio show. Good night, everybody, and Happy New Year.